Is George Pickens already becoming something special in Dallas? After just one season, Pickens is turning heads and changing expectations across the Cowboys offense, but not everyone agrees on what comes next. Some believe his impact proves he deserves a long-term deal right now, while others warn the Cowboys should slow down before committing big money. What's really being said behind closed doors, and how serious are these contract talks? Pickens' own words hint at confidence, chemistry, and unfinished business, and what happens next could shape the Cowboys' offense for years to come. What's going on, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to the channel. If you love Dallas Cowboys football, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because today we've got some massive Cowboys news to talk about. This is one of those stories that could quietly shape the future of this offense for years to come, and the man at the center of it all is George Pickens. George Pickens is officially calling his first season with the Dallas Cowboys special, and that single word says a lot. This isn't just a player being polite in interviews. This isn't PR talk. This is a wide receiver who feels something different in Dallas, and now, with early contract talks starting to surface behind the scenes, the Cowboys may already be thinking long-term with their newest offensive weapon. When George Pickens arrived in Dallas, expectations were high, but there was also a lot of curiosity. Cowboys fans knew the talent was there. Everyone around the league knew the raw ability, the size, the physicality, and the playmaking skills were elite. But the big question was whether Pickens could truly unlock his full potential in the Cowboys system and become a centerpiece of this offense rather than just another talented receiver passing through. So far, the answer looks like a resounding yes. Pickens has openly talked about how different this season feels compared to anything he's experienced before. He's mentioned the culture, the accountability, the way the offense is built to put players in positions to succeed, and most importantly, the trust he feels from the coaching staff and the quarterback. That trust is everything for a receiver like George Pickens, who thrives on confidence, rhythm, and being allowed to play freely. From the very first weeks of the season, it became clear that Pickens wasn't just going to be a role player in Dallas. He wasn't here to be a decoy. He wasn't here to run a limited route tree. The Cowboys brought him in to make plays, and they stayed true to that vision. You see it in how he's used. Deep shots. Back shoulder throws. Red zone fades. Third down conversions when the offense absolutely needs a play. Pickens has become one of those receivers where, even if he's covered, you still feel confident throwing him the football. That's a rare trait, and it's something the Cowboys offense has been searching for consistently. What's really interesting is how Pickens has talked about the chemistry with the quarterback. He's said it's grown faster than he expected. Timing routes, reading coverage adjustments, knowing when to break off a route or when to stay aggressive downfield. Those are things that usually take seasons to fully develop, but Pickens has made it clear that the connection feels natural. And that chemistry has shown up on the field. There have already been multiple moments this season where George Pickens has completely shifted momentum in a game. Big catches that silence opposing crowds. Physical finishes that energize the sideline. Plays that make defenders hesitate the next time they line up across from him. That kind of impact doesn't always show up fully in box scores, but coaches and front offices notice it immediately. That's where the contract conversation comes into play. According to League Chatter, the Cowboys have already had internal discussions about George Pickens' future with the team. No official numbers yet, no finalized offers, but the fact that these talks are happening this early tells you how highly Dallas values what Pickens brings to the table. The Cowboys aren't a franchise that rushes into long-term deals without being convinced. They've been burned before. They've learned lessons the hard way. So when they start talking contract extensions this early, it usually means they see a foundational piece, not just a good player. Pickens himself hasn't shied away from the topic. He's been clear that he loves being in Dallas. He's talked about feeling wanted. He's talked about feeling like he's part of something bigger than individual stats. That matters, especially for a young receiver who wants stability and a system that highlights his strengths. At the same time, Pickens has also made it clear that he's focused on football first. winning games, making plays, building consistency. He's not pushing contract drama into the public. He's letting his play speak for itself, and honestly, that approach only strengthens his leverage. From a Cowboys perspective, locking up George Pickens sooner rather than later could be a smart move. The wide receiver market continues to explode across the NFL. Every offseason, the price goes up. Waiting another year could mean paying significantly more for the same player, especially if Pickens continues on this trajectory and posts a true breakout season statistically. There's also the offensive identity to consider. The Cowboys have been searching for balance. They want explosiveness without sacrificing structure. They want receivers who can stretch the field but also fight for tough yards in traffic. George Pickens fits that vision almost perfectly. His size allows him to win contested catches, but his body control and footwork make him dangerous on intermediate routes as well. Defenses have already started adjusting to him. Safeties shading his side. Corners playing with extra cushion. That alone opens up opportunities for the rest of the offense. When one player changes how defenses align, he becomes more than just a receiver. He becomes a strategic weapon. That's why many inside the Cowboys organization believe Pickens could be a cornerstone player moving forward. Not just for this season, but for the next phase of this team as it continues to evolve offensively. Another important aspect of Pickens' first season in Dallas is his growth off the field. Coaches have praised his preparation. Teammates have talked about his competitiveness in practice. He's been described as intense, focused, and locked in. Those are all things teams look for when deciding whether to invest long-term money. Early in his career, there were questions about consistency and maturity. Dallas clearly believed they could bring out the best version of George Pickens, and so far, that belief has paid off. The environment matters, and Pickens has said himself that the structure and leadership in Dallas have helped him take another step forward.